All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Let's get started today. I think today is going to be a very powerful video because we're going to be talking about our higher self, okay? And how we can use the mindset of our higher self to actually step into the reality that we truly prefer to be, rather than a reality that's imposed on us, okay? A reality that's supposedly not what we want in our true heart of hearts, right? So one thing to understand is your mindset is the surprising connection between higher self and reality, okay? Since all is mind, it starts from the mind being set on a specific dominant frequency that you have power and control over, right? You're not being spun around by it. It is not disagreeing with you. Okay. So what a lot of people do is on the pathway towards uh, a journey of ascension or enlightenment, they might go deeper and deeper into their shadows, and some people just fall into the abyss of that darkness, not recognizing that it's almost like a bungee cord, right? You have to go down and then up, down and up. And this is the process that we've discovered on our path with the Primal Sutra, is that what goes up must come down, right? And so this is why we want to stabilize a dominant vibration for ourselves, so we're not constantly being in this kind of mood swing reality, right? We're being flipped from good and bad. And though some might agree and say, or disagree and say that that's the way of life, so, right? That's not the way it is, okay? But who are you to decide the way that it is, right? So first and foremost, let's start to understand there's certain laws of this universe that we have to guide ourselves by, right? Including the law of assumption. If you look at it as an actual law instead of a silly, bumper sticker or something like that, right? With Neville Goddard's face on it. Instead, why don't you actually embody that aspect, right, of what he's trying to teach you, okay? Not read his books over and over again and try to take a few talking points down, right? Real learning happens through experiential learning, right? Direct experience of the knowledge, which becomes wisdom as it becomes integrated and you reflect upon that information, right? So this is how I want you to first of all think about it. Right now, for a lot of people, this might be too heady to even understand. And some people, it's like they see or hear the word higher self and they get put off by it, not even understanding that that could be one of the deeper layers of what they actually need to do. But they're not at that point of their spiritual journey or evolution to even recognize how this could help them. Right? And so they just bypass it. They'll just ignore it. They won't look into it at all. Right. Now, there's many people who are just finding about this stuff. Perhaps it's aligned towards humanity. There's more and more people who are becoming very inquisitive about these spiritual topics nowadays. And that shows you a progress of community and culture as well, which is very, very good, right? But we don't want to look at this as like trend hopping, right? You're not just trend hopping spirituality, you're finding a deeper purpose and a meaning for your life, okay? So let me just share this with the tribe and alert them that we are live. Okay, sweet. Let's check if there's a live chat working. Okay, everything is set up. All right, so how to step into a new reality with a 5D mindset or higher self agreeing, right? Now, beliefs, especially negative ones, right, trick us into thinking that there's only one possible reality, okay? All right. So when we incarnate, okay, by the way, I wasn't born, I was summoned, okay? Just saw that meme today. You, okay? Stick figure incarnating in the physical world. Okay, here we go. All right. Riding on my little white pony. Okay. When we integrate, when we incarnate, okay, we adopt a personality, okay, which creates your personal reality. right? Your persona becoming the reality that shapes your physical experience. So this includes both positive and negative beliefs. I want to work with the information that Bashar gave us. Okay, Bashar is also a very powerful channel. I got inspired by channeling by watching his different videos and so forth. And then I started to learn about gamma waves and the technology of tapping into the higher self using frequencies. And I got a lot of deep insights from Bashar. So I want to thank Daryl Anka for giving and really distributing this information out there. And, having others join in on this awakening process, right? Because we can all channel, right? We just need timelessness. So, all right. And we need a good relationship with our own inner self-talk, right? Because our ego can come in and always try to, sabotage the experience of really pure, clean channeling coming through. Okay, so he had shared this very powerful chart. I share this with my high-end clients as well. It's very powerful. And if you notice this diagram right here, you will notice that for positive synchronicity to happen, you need choice and freedom, right? And for negative synchronicity to happen, you feel like you're just surviving and you have no choice. Okay, so this is where the victim mentality is being created, but it's also being blocked by all these flower petals, right? These um, hexagons or whatever, right? So justify, rationalize, reward, paranoia, right? Project, reject. These are all ways that are our defense mechanisms, correct? They're protecting us from what? Actual growth and expansion. You notice here, right? Inspiration. So if I feel like I have a choice and a freedom, I'm going to grow. I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to move in the direction of what I want. I'm going to happily navigate to where I can thrive and where I prefer to be, right? So it's a very simple model, but simple does not mean that it's easy, right? So even though it's simple, it's difficult to navigate because we don't have a very normalized way of thinking, right? Thinking gets created. This is why we have to be good creators. We understand that positive beliefs, right, align with our true infinite nature. You understand this because it's expanding. And one is contracting, one is becoming smaller, one is becoming more limited and reserved and hesitant and shrinking in its power. One is knows the powers within and it's generating, amplifying, right? So we understand the difference between somebody who's sitting in the subway, legs crossed, just kind of all in their own world, staring at their phone, headphones in, blocked out from the world. And then we see somebody at a park just like kind of, doing some Tai Chi or something, right? You notice the difference between those two energies. Absolutely. Anybody can tell, right? Anybody can tell. So negative beliefs work hard to convince us that there is not one infinite nature, right? They amplify our fear, convincing us that we're unworthy, or they distort positive opportunities that come up as negative. So it just justifies it back into this no choice survival paradigm, right? So negative beliefs use various tricks, like convincing you to stay comfortable in negativity, blaming others for your issues, or even believing that change is impossible, right? Remaining stubborn or rigid in your own reality. And they also distort reality, right? These are distortions, these are filters, paranoia, projection, rejection. These are all ways in which we're reinforcing bad luck or amplifying fear. They create layers of secondary beliefs to distract from the core negative ones. And they trick you into thinking they're protecting you, right? These little hexagrams, do you see? This flower petals think that they're showing everybody that everything's okay and just protecting you and keeping you safe, even though it's limiting your potential. Okay? Can I get an amen? Where's everybody at? Okay? So We encourage you to recognize these tricks as Primal Sutra, neutralizing them and understanding the negative beliefs. They're merely illusions. Okay, fugazi, fugazi, okay? It's just star stuff, man. Okay? Negative beliefs are just hallucinations. They're not unchangeable truths. They're not Mahavakyas, right? You have the power to transform these negative beliefs by shifting your focus. Okay? To what? To God or source, infinite self, higher self, oversoul. Okay? So shift your focus higher, right? Look from a higher paradigm. You might be looking from too low of a paradigm that you're not even able to understand the deep revelation or the spiritual truth that it's trying to teach you. That's why you got to zoom out, right? That's why you got to look from the higher self. Okay, where do we draw that little guy? Okay, here we go. So there's different layers, right? Slowly going into more abstraction, and then eventually it's just a point, a dot, right? The God chakra coming down to this is the oversoul chakras. It's coming down like that, right? So your higher self or oversoul, you can use these terms interchangeably, but they hold all of my past, present, and future lives, right? Because they exist at the same time. So it's from this larger part of me that my soul is created and sent out to experience different lives. So my higher mind, which is connected to the oversoul, has a broader perspective than my physical mind does, because it can see all pathways, objectives, and outcomes in the video game, right? It's like exploring the walkthrough of the video game before it's even happened, right? So while my physical mind is limited to what's right in front of me, my metaphysical mind is not. It's unlimited. So this is why vision over sight. Okay? It's not seeing is believing. It's believing is seeing. Okay? It's what you see in your mind, the vision, that might actually infer a more clear subconscious reality for you to explore life more smoothly over the visual sights of the object, the mere appearance of it, right? So to navigate life more smoothly, I need to form a strong relationship with this higher mind, correct? Because it knows the best way for me to grow, guiding me away from unnecessary struggles and helping me align with my truth and my true self. So the higher mind exists in a realm where time flows differently, allowing it to see past, present, future all at once, right? Whereas my physical mind is just more focused on the moment, right? So this version of me knows that there's a past, knows that there's a future. Now, if I stay so much in the past, I'll start to get depressed. That's not where my time locus is. The focus, the locus of control, the focus of control, right here and the here and now, right? In the present moment. And if I put all of my energy into the future, I'm going to get anxious. What's going to happen? Anticipate things, right? So this is a process where we have to align back into silence, back into our own oneness, our own stillness, where we notice that time starts to slow down. And then we can notice past, present, future merging. And then we can pull from what is our vision. So we trust the guidance. And this guidance is key to staying on the path of joy and fulfillment. So when I need answers about my beliefs, I know that I have to raise my vibration instead of looking down into my subconscious for clarity, I go up because the answers lie in a higher state of consciousness. Because my higher mind or my superconscious mind is where I find the clarity I seek. I also remind myself that my physical mind's job is to simply perceive and experience the present reality. Because my higher mind knows how things will unfold, and by trusting it, I can align with my best possible self. I visualize and feel the energy of my reality that I want, but I let my higher mind handle the details. I do not let my physical mind handle the details because I know far more. I mean, I'm saying I, but it knows far more, right? The higher self, the higher mind knows far more than the physical mind about how to bring your desires into this life. So the more that you trust this process, right, the more your life will reflect your true self. To step into a new reality, I need to cultivate the feeling of my desire already being fulfilled, right? Zero, circle, you're fully filled, right? But still emptiness. But we're not empty like we're unfulfilled. Empty isn't, it's complete. Okay? So, wow, that was deep, man. All right. I'll have what he's having to come up with this stuff. Once I immerse myself into this mental state, my 4D or fourth dimensional self finds a way to make it happen. But the key is to focus not on the process, but on the end result. Imagining myself in the situation I want to manifest. To do this, I need to clearly define my goal and imagine that specific event would happen after my wish is fulfilled. I relax into a drowsy sleep-like state, and I immerse myself into that scene. I'm not just a spectator. I mean, I place myself into that scene, guys. It feels as real as if what's happening right now. So, for example, if I want a promotion, I just imagine my work colleagues like clapping for me. And I really feel into that. I immerse myself into the 4K of this scene. I let the feeling of the wish fulfilled already being fulfilled, complete 0 point, sink in, because this allows my 4D self to align with this desired reality. Okay? So the more I repeat this process, the more real it eventually becomes, and it starts to manifest into my physical world. Okay? So we are sensing using our 5 senses 5 times, right? We're sensing 5 times. So in the 5th dimension, we have a different perception. Our vision is how our perception intercepts with reality. So what is invisible to us really isn't invisible to us. It's what we can perceive, right? So dimensions are subdivisions of a larger infinite reality. So time is not considered, time is considered fourth dimension, right? It's not a spatial one. So what's seen as chaotic maybe seems simple from a higher dimensional paradigm. So if you begin to see movement of energy beyond the senses in different ways, you've already understood that you've shifted dimensions. Okay? If you're seeing trippy things as you close your eyes, you interact with the world, all right? Not just from entheogens, not just from, being in a trippy, isolation tank experience or breathwork ceremony, right? But actually throughout your day to day, you're noticing the passage of time differently. And it's highly likely that you're channeling throughout the day. You're stepping into these different roles or these different versions of you. And your higher mind will bring you a version of the images that are there, right? So the images and the imagery is important because that's where your higher mind connects with a reptile brain. Okay? Very important stuff, guys. Okay, are we all understanding? We all following along? Yeah. Hey, what's good, Mathis? Then rear time. Let's go. So the more I repeat this process, the more real it becomes. And eventually it manifests in my physical world, right? So if my mind wanders during this visualization, I just bring it back to the scene, back to the scene, back to the scene. I continue to focus on it. I relax, keeping the image vivid, keeping the image very vivid and the feelings and emotions tied to the image. And then the drowsy state helps this process because it's easier to slip into the feeling of the wish fulfilled if you're slightly in that trance. in that theta state, in that daydream. So by repeatedly feeding my consciousness with the assumption that my desire is already real, I give it the power to solidify it into actual reality. I'm changing the template, you see? So every thought, action, and event around me begins to align with this assumption because I've created the outcome that I desired, in my mind at least. My higher mind knows it. So in essence, the world I experience through my senses is just a reflection of the larger 4D reality. So by consciously immersing myself in the future that I want, I can step out of the limitations of the 3D world and move slowly morph into this new reality that I'm creating. So this practice allows me to reshape my future by aligning my inner state and what I'm feeling with the outcomes that I wish to experience out into the physical world. So here are some key principles for this higher self mindset for manifestation. Okay. Number one, clarity and non-attachment. Okay. Does everybody resonate with this, by the way? Let me know. Okay. You don't chase, you attract because you trust what's meant for you will flow effortlessly. Right? If you're really aligned with your deepest desires, you'll know that they're going to come to you at the right time. Why do we need to be attached to it? Why do we need to be confused about it? Instead of clinging to the outcomes, you focus on what you feel when your desires are realized. This keeps your vibration high without obsessing over the nitpicky details. Okay. Excellent. Okay. This is it. Next, what do we have? Embodiment over waiting. Oof, this is a good one, man. Because a lot of these law of attraction mofos, you know, they be waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay. No, I'm already living my highest potential. From how you speak to yourself, the habits you cultivate, everything reflects the version of you who already has manifested the outcome. So you think, act, and feel as though your desired reality is already happening. And this leaves sometimes in our mind a little bit of a split, right? Because we understand that, okay, I'm here right now, but I want to be there. And then it creates this kind of feeling like a fraud or feeling fake or feeling like I'm amplifying it in a specific direction. But this is also why you have to have faith in the process, right? Trust and flow. Okay. Can I get an amen? Yes, Sumesh. Install the vibrational downloads to that experience you that desire you downloaded. So yes. Yep. So the higher self trusts the process without frustration or impatience, right? It's knowing that the journey is sacred as the destination. It's not splitting them up like this one is more sacred than the other, right? The process is more sacred than the result. The result is more sacred than the process. No, it's like it's all sacred. When obstacles are arising, you just see them as part of the manifestation process. They're not blocks, right? They're lessons preparing you for receiving what you want. Okay. Of course, the next thing would be vibration first, result second. What do I mean by that? This is a key to emotional alignment. Okay. So the mindset is that you know that your thoughts, emotions, actions shape your frequency, which turns into the reality that you're experiencing, right? So you maintain gratitude, joy, and peace. You vibrate by reminding yourself of what you're grateful for. You're actually stepping into more of your focus, which is what you appreciate, which is what is now, which shifts your vibrational hygiene. So you start to monitor your emotions and thoughts without suppressing them, using like flow-based practices also, like breath work and qigong and yoga. If you're doing any of that, okay, any kind of flow-based practices, MMA, okay, will keep you aligned. So that's very powerful because I vibrate at the frequency of love. I vibrate at the frequency of expansion. I vibrate at the frequency of believing in myself, man. The next is being, not just doing. Okay. Your higher self teaches you to be that person who attracts what you want rather than constantly doing or fixing things, because as you're starting to do that, you're telling the physical world that I'm coming from lack, right? That I'm not complete, that I'm attracting from a state of non-wholeness. Instead of actually, micromanaging tasks or situations, you can trust that aligned actions will naturally emerge when they are needed as you focus on inner alignment first. So you focus on being rather than doing. Who is the kind of character that has what I want? Who is the type of person I need to step into that doesn't have these old problems in my life anymore? See what I'm saying? So this is next level personal development, personal transformation stuff, right? Because your higher self knows that manifesting isn't just about you. You think it's just about you. Your physical mind thinks it's just about you, right? So service, let's change this to providence, okay? Providing value. Because the word service comes from slavery, and we don't vibe with that, okay? So your higher self knows that manifesting isn't just about you. It's about how your desires uplift and connect you with others. It's the flow. This is powerful, man. It's the flow between giving and receiving. My dad taught me about this, the cycle of the three circles of harm: giving harm, receiving harm, and harm. But it starts from giving harm, right? It starts that process. So what serves my highest good serves the highest good of all. Oof. Let that sink in, man. Let that sink in. It's a very high vibrational thought, but you manifest with the intention to give, knowing that by improving your life, you contribute to the collective energy of the planet. Whew. Okay. I would say next is radical self-belief. Okay. Radical self-belief. Not like you're a radical, okay? But it's a self-belief that does not doubt. Because the higher self does not doubt your worthiness or your deservingness to receive. It operates with deep inner confidence. It's free from shame. It's free from fear. It's free from even self-sabotage, right? I'm worthy of everything I desire because I'm here. I exist. I shed my limiting beliefs and treat myself as someone who's inherently worthy of joy, success, and holding boundaries with ease. So instead of saying, I want more abundance, you say, I am abundance. I radiate it. I embody abundance. Everything I touch becomes gold. Right? Everything I touch turns into gold. That's that Midas touch, baby. That's that Midas mind. Because it moves your mindset from wanting or lack to being abundance. So what can you do? There'll be daily practices to reinforce this particular mindset. You could do gratitude journaling, gratitude walks. You could do morning visualizations. You can picture your ideal or perfect day as if it's already happening. Before you sleep, you can do certain practices that right before you sleep, you look at a vision board, or what I like to do is imagine my vision board is like my bed sheet. So as I wrap myself around my vision board, I embody all of those dreams and they fuse with my cells. That's my visualization that I do personally. And flow-based practices like movement, play, art, creativity, and doing them with ease, aligning with the joy, right, the frequency as you do it. It's not just I'm painting, I'm feeling the joy as I'm painting. I'm feeling the gratitude and the expansiveness as I'm painting, right? So you're using your favorite actions or favorite mantras to rewire your subconscious, right? And this actually comes from my higher self, Iwamus, who's connected to the higher self of Sanat Kumar, okay? So when you adopt a higher self mindset, there might be characters, archetypes that come through, right? Different visions, because this is how your personal self connects to the collective self. So manifestation becomes less about forcing and more about allowing. Okay? There'll be many times when you feel that the universe is testing you, it's really sensing, it's giving you a taste of what it's like to have that already. You know what I mean? And it's through your actions that's going to allow that, and it's through your receptivity, right? If you blocked off from your manifestations, and that's telling something about it, that you don't deserve it subconsciously, that something happened in the past, and you can't get rid of that memory, right? So you have to do the internal cleanup work too. And I realized the universe responds not to the desperate actions, but to our state of being. And the right circumstances, the right moments will naturally align once we have this mindset, this energy of knowing that I can just make a choice and I'm free to do what I want. Okay. This is why we are the cause. We're not living in effect to the world. We're not like, I don't have a choice. I'm hopeless. This world is happening against me. I have no freedom. That's going to put you into a completely contracted state of mind where you're going to feel a lot of pressure and you're going to feel like you're going to pop, right? Because you're not allowing your higher self to nurture you and care for you. You're not allowing yourself to really look and shift your focus from that lower belief into a higher one, right? One that knows that the secrets and the power has always been within. Okay, law of binding, fearless heart activation. An ounce of fear will destroy your fantasies and desires and results very quick. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because fear is in a survival-based mindset, right? And it's coming from a negative belief. We just got to transform that negative into a positive so we can get more synchronicities, baby. Right? Okay, that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. All right, cool. I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have an incredible day. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to our Pathworking Man. Go check out the Telegram group. We have a student immersion, so go to primalsutramysteryschool.com, click on student immersion tab. Check it out. We've been to Bali, Costa Rica. This is our third event. We're going to New Zealand. Okay, it's going to be epic. We're going to meet with the Maori tribes. We're going to meet with a couple of very unique individuals, sauna, bonfires, you name it. Okay, it's going to be a blast. Wish you could join us. We're going to go on a little bit of a road trip. If you're an adept, we'll probably give you some updates. So that's going to be cool to be a part of the adept program and seeing what we're up to over there. If you're not able to join us in person, we might also have online tickets. So yeah, we'll work something out, man. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Just put it in your mind, put it in your mindset. It's already there. We've already done it. It's already ours. Okay. We've already done the event. And it was amazing. Okay. Let's get it. Albert Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Much love. Okay. Make sure you hit